At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to define organizational behavior, develop an understanding of the functions of a manager and managerial roles in an organization, explain the major disciplines that contribute to the domain of organizational behavior, understand various challenges and opportunities managers face in applying organizational behavior concepts. 1.2 Introduction. Organizational behavior is the domain that deals with understanding people's behavior within an organization. The discipline deals with the individual behavior of employees, group behavior of employees, and behavior of employees at the organizational level. In addition, the field investigates the impact of various cognitive, affective, and behavioral aspects of human resources on the effectiveness of an organization, like what motivates employees, what makes a manager a good leader, how one can manage group dynamics, etc. Organizational behavior is crucial in facilitating present-day managers in dealing with various organizational challenges and opportunities. Stephen Robbins defined organizational behavior as a field of study that investigates the impact that individuals, groups, and structure have on behaviors within the organization to apply such knowledge towards improving an organization's effectiveness. Before exploring the various components of organizational behavior or the three levels of analysis, before exploring the various components of organizational behavior or the three levels of analysis in organizational behavior, namely individual, group, or organizational level, it is crucial to understand what we mean by three level of analysis. How has the domain of organization behavior formed? Furthermore, who are managers and what functions and roles do they perform in an organization? Finally, it is also essential to understand managers' present-day challenges and opportunities in an organizational behavior. 1.3. What do you mean by organization? A social unit that is structured or managed to pursue collective goals. All organizations have a management structure that determines relationships between different activities and the members, assign roles, responsibilities, and authority among members to carry out various tasks. Organizations are open systems. They affect and are affected by their environment. Organizations are formed to achieve some purpose. An organization's purpose is stated through its vision, mission, goal, and specific objectives. To fulfill the underlying goals, organizations need people. People form part of structures that allow them to collectively work and accomplish the set purpose. The purpose or structure both differs from organization to organization. 1.4 Manager and interpersonal skills. Managers are the coordinators responsible for managing social units. These social units help the organization achieve its goals. For managing people, a manager needs technical, human, and conceptual skills. Earlier, more focus was on technical skills and less on interpersonal skills. But eventually, interpersonal and people skills have been crucial. At times, they are preferred over technical skills. Interpersonal skills or soft skills help a manager connect with others at work. Managers are responsible for getting the job done through people. Their main task is not to complete the task directly. Therefore, it becomes essential for a manager to understand people's behavior and connect with them. OB principle provides insights that help a manager develop their interpersonal skills, which could yield various organizational level outcomes. such as employee satisfaction with their respective jobs, employee commitment to an organization, employee engagement, stress level, etc. Managers with high interpersonal skills can attract high performing employees and are also able to improve employee retention. Recently, the organizations have been impacted by the Great Resignation, a phenomena that is used to describe situations in which huge number of employees have quit organizations towards the end of the COVID-19 pandemic, also known as Big Quit, Great Reshuffle. It has made retaining employees critical to an organization as the process of hiring them is both costly and time consuming. Consequently, it has become essential to retain employees and control such trends. 1.5. What do managers do? Managers are the coordinators. They help an organization accomplish its objective through people most effectively and efficiently. Here, effectiveness means completing a given task within the planned time frame. The manager should focus on doing the right things to achieve goals on time. Here, efficiency means achieving goals with minimum resources. To achieve efficiency, managers should focus on doing things right to minimize wastage as much as possible. Both effectiveness and efficiency are essential to accomplish organizational goals. Managers strive to achieve goals with minimum wastage. Further, Henry Fayol and Henry Mintzberg gave a detailed description of various functions and roles performed by a manager. Functions of management are part of the classical approach provided by Henry Fayol, French industrialist. Later, in the 1960s, Henry Mintzberg divided the diverse responsibilities of a manager into 10 roles performed by the manager. 1.5.1 Management Functions. Henry Fayol identified 5 management functions, namely planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. The manager performs various tasks of similar nature within each function. The detailed description of all 5 functions of management are as follows. Number 1. Planning. The primary purpose of any organization is to achieve specific goals. The manager needs to define these goals in line with the primary purpose and vision of the organization. It is a complete process where the manager explores various alternatives, builds a strategy for the whole organization, and sets employees' objective. Later, these goals become a yardstick against which outcomes are measured. Fayol summed up this role under a broad category known as planning. Number 2, organizing. The manager is also responsible for building the structure in the organization. The organizing function includes identifying various organizational tasks, grouping and classifying similar nature tasks, and designing reporting relationships. Number 3, commanding. The manager is responsible for communicating planned strategies, goals, and targets. In line with organizational goals and practices, a manager should direct and lead subordinates. It is associated with communicating clear instruction to employees in line with the company's mission and vision. In addition, a manager should be able to inspire and motivate employees to achieve the company's goal. Number 4, coordination. Coordination is one of the crucial functions of management. Setting goals created through structures and giving instruction to employees will fail if all activities are not appropriately coordinated. It is equally important to harmonize all activities in an organization. Managers should ensure that various activities complement each other. Effective coordination will also reduce conflict and stimulate employees' motivation. Number 5, controlling. The manager sets standards, objectives at the planning stage. However, the planning stage will remain incomplete unless the manager compares the standards with the actual performance. Therefore, a manager should periodically compare the targets with the actual performance and take corrective actions in case of any gap. The 5 functions identified by Henry Fayol provide an overview of the main functions of the management. It may not cover all the complexities that a manager is expected to deal with their day-to-day functioning. 1.5.2 Managerial roles. Functions of management may not cover all the complexity that a manager is expected to deal with in their day-to-day functioning. To address this, Henry Mintzberg defined managerial roles in 1960s. Based on observation, Mintzberg segregated all the roles of a manager into 3 broad categories, namely interpersonal, informational, and decisional. He stated that these roles are highly interrelated and reflect a set of behaviors followed by managers in an organization. The detailed description of all 3 categories of managerial roles is as follows. Number 1. Interpersonal role of a manager. Interpersonal role of a manager includes 3 subsets within it. First is figurehead, a symbolic role where the manager works on routine level work of social and legal nature. This role inspires others in an organization. Secondly, the manager acts as a leader, responsible for hiring, motivating, directing employees. The third managerial roles within interpersonal is called liaison. Under this role, he builds his network. He can gather the required information through networking with people, internal or external to the organization. Such contacts also provide a manager with favors. Number 2, informational role of manager. The informational role of manager is associated with the process where the manager gathers information, transfers it into the organization, and transmits it to the outside organization. This role includes 3 subsets. The first subset is known as monitor. Under this role, the manager collects information through various sources and analyzes the internal and external environment. Later, the manager transmits relevant information to other members of the organization. This role also defines the second subset, known as disseminator. Finally, under the third subset, the manager, as the spokesperson, transmits the information outside the organization. The third role is decisional role of manager. The manager is not only a symbolic head who manages information or direct employees, but he is also a decision maker. As an entrepreneur, manager searches for new opportunities and brings new assignments and projects to the organization. A manager also initiates change. The manager is responsible for handling disturbance in the organization. For example, suppose there is some roadblock in an organizational functioning. Here, the manager is responsible for handling it. The manager also acts as a negotiator, where he represents the organization in all major negotiations. Lastly, manager is a resource allocator. He is responsible for procuring and allocating resources. The description of all the 3 roles of manager could also be seen in figure number 1.4. Emerging managerial roles. What do managers do? Or what a successful manager is supposed to do? If asked by a management student, the answer will be either associated with 5 basic functions, namely planning, organizing, staffing, and controlling, as defined by French industrialist Henry Fayol, or will be associated with 10 managerial roles as defined by Henry Mintzberg. But in the current scenario, In addition to these functions and roles, a manager should change and get away with the traditional approach while dealing with the employees. With growing competition and technological advancement, a manager must change some commonly followed practices, like limiting his role to problem solver, micromanagement, giving direction to employees, etc. To meet the contemporary challenges in the workplace, the manager must shift from directive to instructive. The role of the supervisor has considerably changed with the advent of technology. Robots driven by artificial intelligence have already replaced the manual repetitive work in the majority of industries. AI could impact the present roles of the employees, but it won't be able to exclude the need for human resources. New roles are emerging and are replacing the old ones. The present day manager needs to explore the best practices to shape the impact of AI on the industry. The manager must shift from restrictive to expansive. Present day competitive business environment needs employees to think and learn quick decision making. Centralization and micromanagement by managers should restrict employees in a way they think. Therefore, it is important for managers to delegate and motivate their employees to analyze the market, think about a solution, and decision based on their analysis. Manager must shift from exclusive to inclusive. Managers should include employees in a decision making process, especially while dealing with some new situation like work from home, virtual organization during COVID-19, etc. This brainstorming process adds diversity and helps in identifying various perspectives around the problem. It also makes the process of change easier in the organization. Manager must shift from repetitive to innovative. There is no best time for innovation. Rather, it is an ongoing process. Innovation makes an organization successful, and a successful organization needs innovative to remain competitive. Manager must shift from problem solver to challenger. The role of the present day manager is not limited to a problem solver. Today, manager needs to be proactive in understanding, analyzing, and solving upcoming challenges in the industry. Manager must shift from employer to entrepreneur. Present day manager needs to think like an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur facilitates development and helps others in growth. For more details, students could go through the research paper published by Harvard Business Review. The role of manager has to change in 5 key ways. 1.6 Managerial skills. Robert L. Katz has identified various skills necessary for a successful manager. According to him, a manager needs the following skills to accomplish their goals. 1.6.1 Technical skills. Technical skills refer to the employee's ability to apply specialized knowledge and expertise while performing the given task. In other words, technical skills means knowledge and the ability to accomplish the given task. For example, for a manager at ABC Limited, an audit firm, technical skills could include knowledge about the fundamentals of accounting, Indian accounting standard rules, and procedure for conducting an audit. Education and qualifications are essential for technical skills, like a chartered accountant degree, along with knowledge gained through schooling, college, or job experience. 1.6.2 Human skills. The primary responsibility of managers is to communicate with employees and coordinate the work between employees. A manager should be able to motivate and lead employees to accomplish the organization's purpose. In addition, a manager should be able to resolve conflicts in the organization. For example, an audit manager with the chartered accountant degree might possess sound technical knowledge about the audit process. Still, he won't be able to manage a team or accomplish goals unless he has good human skills, like the ability to communicate, listen, and motivate, the ability to create good coordination between team and clients to achieve the set targets, etc. 1.6.3 Conceptual Skills. The organizational environment today is highly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. In such an environment, making a decision based on only past knowledge is not possible. Therefore, to work in the present day environment, a manager should have the mental ability to deal with complex problems. The ability to analyze a complex problem is known as conceptual skills. Furthermore, for decision making in the VUCA environment, a manager should have good conceptual skills. For example, to handle diverse client specific queries or any challenge posed by the external environment, like the pandemic, a manager needs to analyze the problem, generate various alternatives, and choose the best alternative. 1.7 Managerial Activities Effective versus Successful Manager. Fred Luthans and his associate found that all managers could be engaged in four activities, namely traditional management. This includes planning, organizing, making decisions, etc. Number two, communication includes communicating information, handling paperwork, and exchanging information. Number three, human resource management. This includes managing people using human skills like motivation, training, handling conflicts, etc. Number four, networking, building a social network and interacting with external public. Luthans and his associates conducted an empirical study based on a sample of 450 employees. Their study found that a successful manager spends 48% of their time networking and hardly 13% of their time in traditional management. In contrast, an effective manager spends 44% of time in communicating and barely 11% of their time is spent on the networking. An average manager spends 19% to 32% of their time in all activities. In a nutshell, networking is an important activity that makes a manager successful. Figure 1.5 represents the allocation of all activities on the basis of time. 1.8 Organizational Behavior. The definition of OB suggests that it is a field of study, meaning it is a distinct area with a common body of knowledge. Further, the field of the study investigates individuals or groups to apply this knowledge to increase organizational effectiveness. The study focuses on the behavior of employees at the group, individual, or organizational levels that impact the performance of an organization. The study also focuses on various interpersonal skills that could help to deal with employees effectively. Following are some critical areas in OB. Motivation, number 1. Number 2, leadership. Number 3, stress management. Number 4, group dynamics. Number 5, conflict management. Number 6, personality. Number 7, change process. Number 8, interpersonal communication. 1.9 Major disciplines that contribute to the domain of organizational behavior. OB is an applied behavioral science. It integrates knowledge from various disciplines like psychology, social psychology, anthropology, sociology, etc. Number 1, psychology. Psychology provides knowledge about factors that determine human behavior. It includes various subdisciplines like clinical psychology, industrial psychology, etc. Psychology has contributed to understand the individual behavior of employees in an organization. Some key areas in the domain of OB that are influenced by the knowledge of psychology are motivation, perception, personality, work stress, employee happiness, attitude, etc. Number 2, Sociology. Psychology deals with an individual behavior, whereas sociology deals with the behavior of a group. The domain of sociology include status, society, social groups, prestige, social behavior, etc. Some key areas in the domain of OB that are influenced by the knowledge of sociology are formal and informal organizations, group dynamics, etc. Number 3. Social psychology. The bent of psychology and sociology is termed as social psychology. In simple words, it is the influence of group members on individual members of the group. Some key areas in the domain of OB that are influenced by the knowledge of social psychology are group decision making, change in attitude, behavior, communication, etc. Number 4. Anthropology. Anthropology deals with the study of human culture. It includes knowledge of various cultures and the impact of multiple cultures on human behavior. With globalization, workforce diversity is inevitable. Employees from different cultures come together to accomplish organizational goals. Therefore, it is essential to understand the influence of culture on human behavior. Some key areas in the domain of OB that are influenced by the knowledge of anthropology are cross-culture influence, values, etc. Figure 1.6 shows major disciplines that contribute to the domain of organizational behavior. 1.10 Level of analysis in organizational behavior. There are three levels of analysis in organizational behavior that can be analyzed at three levels, namely individual, group, and organizational. The individual level analysis is the micro level analysis, whereas the organizational level analysis is the macro level analysis. This difference in the analysis is required because it has been observed that the behavior of the employee is different when they work in groups compared to when they work in individually. 1.10.1 Individual level analysis. Unlike static resources, humans as a resource differs from one another. Organizations are made up of people and every employee is an organization and every employee in an organization is central to the study of OB. Individual level analysis or micro level analysis helps in understanding individual differences. Integrating these individual factors provides insights to the manager and facilitates an understanding of human behavior. Some factors that fall under this category could be an input like personality, values, attitude, etc., or process like perception, learning, motivation of individual employees, etc. 1.10.2 Group level analysis. Employees are expected to work in a group. Working in teams is essential for surviving in the competitive environment. Individual employees perform differently when they work in groups. The group level analysis, also known as meso level analysis, helps understand group dynamics. Areas of interest in this category include group cohesiveness, teamwork, power politics, group dynamics, etc. 1.10.3 Organizational level analysis. It is also known as macro level analysis. Several groups, teams operates within an organizational structure. They together form the culture. The organizational level analysis consists of a study of culture, climate, cross-culture analysis, etc. For example, it has been observed that employees often resist change, and change is an inevitable process. OB helps deals with resistance to change and facilitates a smooth change process. 1.11 Challenges and opportunities in organizational behavior. Organizational behavior has grown its importance as the work environment has become more challenging, and the understanding of organizational behavior is being looked upon to provide solutions to the challenge. The diversity in the workplace has increased, and now organizations need more flexible employees. With technological advancement and globalization, new employment opportunities has emerged, and managing the workforce has become more challenging. The emerging gig economy and use of artificial intelligence in all spheres of business are presenting fresh challenges for managers. Following are emerging challenges where the understanding of OB could provide a solution to the manager. Number 1. Enabling leaders to lead in a VUCA world. Leading in today's VUCA world, that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, creates unprecedented challenges that traditional leadership development fails to address. Leaders need to regain control of what they pay attention to and be capable of maintaining focus whilst experiencing feeling of fear, self-protection, and uncertainty. By practicing mindfulness, leaders can equip themselves with the ability to feel calmer, be more present, and develop clearer thinking amidst these challenging external conditions. Agility and the game of teams. With the increasing need for organizations to become more agile, teams are becoming the foundation of organizational structure. Cisco, for example, already has more than 20,000 teams with people sitting on many teams simultaneously. Agile teaming as a work practice requires agile minds, focusing more on we and our priorities and less on me and my priorities. The pace of forming to performing and team disbanding has now become the strategic advantage. As we practice mindfulness, our default all about me thinking patterns become less automatic and habitual, and we open up to more inclusive thinking. Mindfulness also increases our cognitive flexibility, enabling us to think about things in new ways, be that the new ways of working, new team members, or a new project. Number 3, responding to globalization. Globalization refers to the integration of various economies. Today, businesses are no longer restricted to a particular region. Today, companies have presence in multiple countries. For example, Samsung, a South Korean company, has worldwide operations, and so does the Burger King Brazilian company. Companies hire employees from other countries due to the cost of labor. Like Apple is an American company, but most Apple employees are not from the US. Even the production process is undertaken in a foreign land by some companies like Honda cars are built in OU. The world has become a global village. Therefore, a manager needs to focus on global issues. An expatriate manager must understand the cultural difference among employees. Something that fits the culture of the homeland might not work in other countries. Number 4, managing workforce diversity. Workforce diversity means differences and similarities between employees in terms of gender, ethnicity, race, sexual orientation, age, value, etc. Organizations operating globally have to deal with a diverse workforce. The heterogeneous workforce is essential because it helps the organization understand the customer's need. It helps in bringing new innovative ideas to the organization and increase the morale of other employees. But the diversified workforce is also a challenge for management. It is difficult to resolve conflicts as people tend to stick to their viewpoints, which often center around their values, belief, religion, or ethnicity. Number 5, improving customer service. Employees in front roles directly dealing with customers play an essential role in ensuring customer satisfaction. In addition, customer satisfaction plays a vital role in a competitive environment. Therefore, there is a need for a customer responsive culture in an organization. Organizational behavior could help managers bring such a culture into organization by working on employees' attitude and behavior. Number 6, working in networked organization. Network organizations allow employees to work together even when they are far away from each other in terms of distance. Worldwide lockdown around 2020 due to the pandemic forced most organizations to move to the virtual platform. Even today in 2022, many businesses are still working through virtual platforms or have permanently adopted a hybrid mode. Managing such an organization needs different set of skills. Virtually collaborating and coordinating with employees is an emerging challenge for managers. Number 7, helping employees in work-life balance. Employees today find it challenging to create a balance between their work and life. Long working hours are one of the main reasons for work-life conflict. Today, employees from all over the world are virtually connecting through online platforms. It may be a daytime for one employee and a night for another employee. So the world never sleeps. Work is endless and there is no specific working time. Such conditions of present day work lead to work life conflict. Work life conflict could increase burnout and stress among employees, and as a result, could drop the employee's productivity. Number 8, creating a positive work environment. The new wave of positivity within the organization led to the growth of a new concept of positive organizational behavior, a study that focuses on the strength of employees. The earlier focus of managers was to work on the weaknesses of the employees or correct what is wrong. But the field of POB suggests that the focus needs to be deviated from what is wrong to what is right. Therefore, a manager today needs to learn how to get the best from the strengths of the employees. Number 9, improving ethical behavior. It is not that employees always want to do something considered wrong on moral grounds for their benefit, or that they are not aware of what is right or ethical. It is just that people at work face moral distress, or they mostly know what is right, but due to the limitation and fear of adverse outcomes, they fail to do the right thing. There is no clear line between what is right or what is wrong. Still, a manager needs to create an ethically healthy climate, which could minimize the vagueness between right and wrong behaviors. Further, it is important to promote integrity in the organization at all levels. Number 10, economic pressure. Managing employees in bad times, like during COVID 19, is more challenging than managing employees in good times. The COVID 19 pandemic, besides impacting health conditions, pushed organization to cost cut. Therefore, COVID-19 brought about a sudden change in the business environment and presented unprecedented challenges to most businesses and their management. Under good economic condition, managers work on employee motivation through rewards, but under bad economic condition, manager needs to deal with growing stress condition at the workplace. The above challenges could also provide various opportunities to present day managers. For instance, workforce diversity brings new ideas to the organization, but could also lead to increased conflicts. Therefore, a manager must learn how to convert these challenges into opportunities. 1.12, Managerial implications. The following are the implications for managers. Number 1, human behavior is complex and it is challenging to generalize human behavior. Though some provide insights for understanding and generalizing human behavior, most of them are erroneous. Number 2, managers often try to use intuition, idea, or feeling while explaining cause and effect relationships. But sometimes feeling lead to incorrect decision. Therefore, It is important to use metrics and rely on facts. Number 3, managers should learn interpersonal skills. In a managerial role, soft skills like empathy, communication, leadership skills, etc., are way more important than technical skills. Number 4, work environment is changing continuously. Hence, a manager needs to upgrade their technical and conceptual skills. In addition, manager must also update themselves with the new OB trend like big data. Number 5, concepts of OB could provide various insights that could help a manager resolve conflict, improve work-life balance, reduce stress. 1.13 Summary. The lesson aims to highlight the meaning of organization behavior, the need for interpersonal skills, and managerial functions and roles. The present day managerial roles have changed with technological advancement, globalization, organizational structures, and changing employee lifestyle. A manager needs to learn how to convert these challenges into opportunities. Additionally, with increasing complexity in an organization, the skill required by a manager could also vary. The domain of organization behavior integrates the knowledge drawn from various disciplines like psychology, social psychology, anthropology, and sociology. It helps in understanding people's behavior at an individual, group, and organizational level. It applies knowledge that enhances organizational effectiveness. Thanks for listening.